Well, greetings and hello there, everybody. It's me, your beloved and loved Star Wars Dad, Nooch Too Good, and I was doing roster reviews tonight, and I came across several mistakes in some rosters and some things going on, some kind of new things that are out there that I really wanted to talk about today. I'm not gonna make this isn't like a big. Oh wait, I'm gonna get the music going here. Bling. This isn't like a big, 5 mistakes to avoid. We've got a lot of that content out there. I just want to talk about some of these because I keep seeing some of these are mistakes we keep seeing over and over again. Some of them, I got something new that's happening in rosters just since last month when we got some Lightspeed bundles out together. So, and maybe not a mistake, but just some things going on with rosters that we want to talk about that can help you not make mistakes that punish you for your future farming. And on this roster here, the first thing I'm going to start off with, and I'm not going to name names, guys, one thing about applying an Omicron or a Zeta or multiple Omicrons and multiple Zetas to a character, there's 2 things about it. One, you want to make sure that it's a good Omicron. This Darth Talon Omicron really isn't all that exciting. In Grand Arenas, if target enemy is afflicted with Isolate or Pain, Darth Talon's additional attacks gain additional effects. I mean, it looks like it's really good, and it might be okay. It just really doesn't, it doesn't, I don't know, it's okay for Grand Arena. It looks a lot better than it actually is. So make sure if you're going to do an Omicron upgrade in a character, make sure that you are doing the research on what that Omicron does for the team, and you look at maybe some teams that are being used by, content creators like myself or other players. Talk to people in your Discord and your guild. Hey, is this one Omicron worth it? This is a case where it's not worth it, and it's especially not worth it because I don't think the Traya team's on here. Well, I'm wrong. No, we do have a 3-person Traya team, and we have Darth Sion at 5 stars and Darth Talon at 6 stars. Here's the real problem with this Omicron, is this roster is a fair distance away from having a Darth Talon that's usable with that Traya squad. Now, eventually that Omicron might come in a little bit handy, although again, not really needed with that team. That team will get a lot of stuff done for you, but here's the tip. Here's the mistake that you can't do. Don't spend Omicrons and Zetas, specifically Omicrons and Zetas. Guys, this is the gold, the platinum. These are the diamonds of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes in the game right now. If you're still farming up your roster, you're going to always be short. You're going to always be looking for more Omicrons and more Zetas. And as soon as you get a bunch saved, you're going to be assigning them to the right characters and spending them. You're always short. This is the currency of the game, and it is in short supply. You can't afford to drop Omicrons on characters that, 1, they're not a great Omicron, so do your research, and 2, you're not even really committed to finishing that character. You got a good 3-man team here for Grand Arena with Darth Traya and Nyla. I mean, a really good 3-man team, actually. I don't even want to look at the mods. Okay, but I did look at the mods. I don't even want to look at the mods, but I did look at the mods. These aren't the worst mods I've ever seen. I mean, it's a lot of speed. You don't need that much speed. Just a side note, I said this a lot, but it's been a long time since I said this. You really don't need a lot of speed on Savage. You really need a lot of health on him just to keep him alive. He gets all these stacks of heal over time. The more health you have, the more he heals. And every time he receives damage, he gains 30% turn meter. And he gets 30 speed in Grand Arenas from his Omicron that he's got there. Every time he's critically hit, he gains 10% more turn meter. So, he's going to be gaining 40% turn meter every time he's critted, or 30% every time he gets damage. You don't need speed on him. He doesn't need speed. He just needs a bunch of health to stay alive. He's your tank. He's your tank, and then every now and then somebody gets in the yellow, he can just one-shot him. And that's it. He's doing some damage, too, along the way. It's a really good Omicron. But you got to mod these guys right. That's not really... I wasn't really here to talk about mods. We talked about... Make sure you... swgoh.gg, folks. Check the mods on your characters. But mainly... Find out what the good Omicrons are. Only spend the good Omicrons. There's nothing wrong with sitting on 60, 80, 100 Omicrons on your roster, waiting for the right opportunity, and then only apply those Omicrons to characters that you're all in on. If you got an Omicron, if you put a Zeta and Omicron on it, get that team finished, get that character finished, and get them on the team. That's the first thing I noticed. Now, there's one more thing on this roster, then we're going to move on to some other rosters. Oh, I'm sorry. There's also a Zeta on IG88. Same feedback there. I don't know which one this is, but I know that I think it's something like target locked enemies can't recover health or protection. It's something like that. It has to do with target lock. There was a very brief moment in time when that Zeta, that Zeta was making a difference in Squad Arena when you were using IG88 and Grievous to counter Darth Revan, if I remember right. It's been a while. But that's just not a good Zeta, except that it'll make your ship better, but we're not really... Oh, we do have the Executor. Okay. Well, maybe it's just there to farm the Executor, but if you're going to spend Zetas and you're going to spend Omicrons, make sure you're all in on the team. The other thing, if you're not, once again, all in on a character and they're at gear 12, or even down here, if they're at gear 11... or even down here if they're at gear 10, or if they're, at gear 11 with two... This should not be done. This is a tremendous resource suck on your roster. This is a move. Applying all the... And I can't show it by clicking on the character, but I'll show you my roster in a second to compare it. But look, we got 4 extra pieces on Apo. 4 extra pieces on Apo at gear 11. Where does Apo fit on this roster? I don't really know. Not really anywhere. And those 4 extra pieces are maybe holding you back from farming something, even at purple. Even at purple, those could be Carbantes for all I know. And with all these pieces that have been applied, there've got to be some Carbantes in there. If you're spending Carbantes on characters that you aren't all in on, you are wasting resources. And by the way, they're farming Jabba, so that Fennec Shan makes sense. But if you are dropping gear 12 finishing pieces on these characters, and you're not all in on those characters and the teams that they come on, you are wasting resources. Let me show you my roster here. Notice that all of my characters, all of these characters, I don't drop that extra gear. I don't drop it. It does not get dropped. There is not one piece of stray gear on these characters. And I am going to say, generally speaking, I would leave a little room for improvement, or there's a little room for interpretation. There's no room for interpretation. I'm doing it right. Leave all of these green and only fill them in. Only fill them in when you are ready to farm the team. Got it? Like, here's Maul. I really need to get Maul on my roster, but I don't have the Zetas for him. I think I have 1 Zeta. I got 6 Zetas, but I got Lord Vader unlocking in the next few days. So those all go to Lord Vader. So I will get Maul here at some point. I'm missing Zetas, or I'm short Zetas. And if I started clicking on like 2 or 3 of these gear pieces, I'm then spending gear like this. It's really, really important gear that if I just blow it on a character and I don't even upgrade him past where he is, and he's not even usable in the game, and I can't do anything with him, and he has no Zetas, and I wasted gear on him, then the only thing I accomplished in that case was wasting gear. So do not apply the gear until you're in on the character, until you have all the gear filled out on their character. And if you wonder what I'm doing here, I can upgrade these characters to Relic right now. I'm not doing it because Zori's not the character I'm working on. I use these characters, I leave them up there at the top of my roster so I can go farm. It's easier for me to farm the gear that I know I can apply to characters later who have the same gear requirements. So that's why I do this. That's why I remember. So guys, don't apply that gear until the character's ready to go and until you're fully invested in the team. Now, this was a new one that just came up last night. I'd never seen this before. It was highly interesting, and it was because we had those 3 Lightspeed bundles. I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago. We got the Grand Inquisitor Lightspeed bundle, we got the Dr. Aphra bundle, and we got the Starkiller bundle all released at the same time. And I shouldn't say I've never seen this before. I've seen this before on different scales with different characters, whatever. So you go out and you buy all the bundles, right? So now we've got on here, we've got Inquisitors on here to go farm Grand Inquisitor, and we got the Grand Inquisitor unlocked. We've got the Star Killer characters to farm Star Killer, and we've got Star Killer unlocked with a couple of Omicrons, and we've also got the Scoundrels and the Droids ready to farm Dr. Aphra, right? So here is the deal. When your roster is thin like this is a very thin roster. I love the Poncho Bros on there. They've been farmed. I love the Phoenix on there that have been farmed as well. So I like the roster. I like how it's filling out. But when you have that light, early game, newer roster with not a lot of other stuff, really not a lot of other stuff going on, and you go out and you buy those light speed bundles, and this roster is doing it, by the way. Capitalize on those light speed bundles as fast as possible and make that your priority. Again, I'm not even calling this a mistake, but it's really important that if you buy a light speed bundle and that's what you've got on your roster, that you don't sit on it and never. I've definitely seen this. You guys know it if you've been watching the channel long enough. I have seen Star Killers that are sitting here with no Omicrons applied at purple, and they sit there for like a year or more. And Star Killer is a difference maker in this game. And at this roster level, Star Killer would be just a world beater, an absolute crusher on this roster. When you buy the light speed bundles and your roster's not full of other stuff, like sometimes the Lightspeed bundle comes out, like the Star Killer bundle comes out, and you're already in the middle of farming Executor, and then you're going to Kylo after that, and you've already got it mapped out, and you're like, I'm gonna get the Star Killer bundle, but I'm gonna wait till I'm done with those, and I'm gonna do it. I get that. A roster like this, that stuff wasn't happening. There's nothing else really being farmed here, except the Phoenix, the Poncho Bros, and those 3 bundles. So go get those characters, Grand Inquisitor, Dr. Aphra, and Star Killer. Get them fully upgraded and make those teams work for you. And with Star Killer, you'll need to get like a light side Ufu. We got a Jedi with Kyle Katarn. I saw Palpatine's on there with 2 Zetas. So there's characters on there we can use the Star Killer. Just don't buy bundles and let them waste away on your roster when you have nothing else to work on. Just get them done. Get them done. Get those characters finished. You spent all the money. Get them done. This last one for me was something. It's very painful. I don't even. It's hard to express. And it's something I saw tonight. I was doing roster reviews. I saw this twice tonight on a couple of rosters that are pretty new to the game, but not new enough. Not so new that they can't have done this. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. If there's one early game farm for ships, and even for characters, you've got to farm Bosk, and you've got to farm the Houndstooth. Even if you're not going to get the Executor, I get it. You decided, I don't like Nooch's advice to get the Executor. I want to go get the Galactic Republic fleet. Nothing wrong with that. You can do that. It'll work for you. I think the Executor's better, but Sanjita thinks the Galactic Republic, we got differences. It's a great game. We can go different ways. I don't care which way you go. And I am right about this too. This is not a spectrum. There is no spectrum of belief in the best way to do this. You have to farm Bosk, and you have to farm the Houndstooth. Bosk is going to be your hands down best bounty hunter leader forever. There are situations where other bounty hunter leaders come in and we can do some fun, goofy little things, whatever, tricky things here or there. They got a datacron, blah, blah, blah. Bosk is the guy. Now, bounty hunters are don't tend to be an endgame team unless there is a nice little datacron for them or they're cleaning up something else. I get it, but they're useful at almost every other stage of the game. But the Houndstooth, boys and girls, Bosk's ship, which you do not see pictured here because it has not been farmed. The Houndstooth is on Jango Fett's node, and it should be farmed from the moment you open up that node every single day, and maybe twice a day, and maybe you buy some bundles until you get the Houndstooth to 7 stars. Period. It's been out for like 7 or 8 years in this game, and it is still, perhaps, the best tank ship in the game. And it's plug and play. Eventually it'll go into your Executor fleet, but until you get it there, you can plug it anywhere. You plug it into your Galactic Republic fleet. You can probably plug it into a Separatist fleet. You can plug it into an executive. You can plug and play that thing anywhere. Bosk and the Houndstooth are required farms. I have not seen something like this in a long time. A long time. It was as if many Transoceans cried out and were suddenly silenced. Because Bosk was not farmed. Bosk's and the Houndstooth. So anyway, that's just some stuff I noticed on some rosters tonight that I thought would be worth talking about today. It's always worth revisiting these things. We talk about them. Well, actually, the last two things we don't talk about that often. But yeah, there you go. Just a few ideas for you. Stop making these mistakes and or just make sure to capitalize on what you got on your roster. Everybody, have a great day. I'll definitely talk to you very soon. And always remember, Nooch too good.